I played Ultima VI a long time ago, but I never got to finish it, and I've always wanted to go back to it, so I was pretty thrilled that Exult did a remake of Ultima VI in the Ultima VII engine. The instructions for installing are pretty straightforward. Load the updates into the mod folder and access it from the main menu. I've played through the first part of the game up to the point where I've gathered the 8 runes. I'll go over my thoughts about the game so far, as well as some of the things I like about the remake, but I should note that this isn't a full review per se, more just like a video essay about the way the game deconstructs the virtues, mixed it with some gameplay commentary that includes me screwing up. And just a warning, there's going to be story spoilers throughout. Ah, the good old days when being an avatar meant standing for virtue. Doing what was right was challenging but also rewarding. The Avatar helped bring enlightenment to the people of Britannia in Ultima IV, Quest of the Avatar. Or so we thought. In Ultima V, those virtues were totally corrupted by Blackthorn. Fortunately, the Avatar defeated the Shadow Lords and Blackthorn to re-establish peace. His reward? A life of loneliness and insomnia. Does he have any friends or loved ones in this life? Not from the way his house looks. So when the possibility of going back comes up again, he's eager to rush in, but he hesitates. The gates are usually blue, but this time, it's a foreboding red. Isolation can make a person desperate, and the Avatar rushes in, only to find himself surrounded by a whole lot of monsters. These horned gargoyles want to serve him up on a platter. The Exult team did a great job recreating the entire opening of Ultima VI with the in-game engine. I think it really brings it to life in a really interesting way, because there's no separation from the in-game assets with the cutscene ones. It makes the story feel more seamless. I love the fact that Ultima follows the action of one character throughout an entire series. I'm trying to think if there's any other series that do that. Final Fantasy generally has a different plot and all new characters with each new entry. I think it's the same with Dragon Quest, Breath of Fire. I mean, they might have some ties from a historical perspective, but generally it's a whole new cast. Maybe Ys? The whole Ys series is the only one I can think of. But even then, it doesn't show the impact of your action throughout the centuries to one group of people the way Ultima does. Old friends come to the rescue, the Avatar escapes, but a few gargoyles follow. Unfortunately for the team, I've forgotten the keyboard command for attack. What was it? I'm trying to click here. And I died. Actually, why aren't the soldiers doing anything? They're just chilling on guard. Lord British also has no reaction. Whoa, is Lord British actually coming to help? Nope. And now my party's fighting, but I'm not sure which button I pushed because I just pressed everything on the keyboard. And we won! The victory chime. Oh, I love that Exult added a lot more save slots. It was C. Now I've accidentally attacked Lord British. And he blew me up. Sorry, this is my fault, nothing to do with Exult. Britannia is under attack by gargoyles. They have been coming up through the dungeons. And why exactly is that? It's an interesting mystery that drives the story and gives the gargoyles a lot more complexity than just being a simple force of evil. I really like the updates on the way you interact with the NPCs way better. Just having the Ultima VII style of dialogue makes it easier to focus on the story and the characters. It's pretty cool that they're using the sprites from Ultima VII, but the face portraits are from Ultima VI. I think this was the first time the series had portraits, and the art style is very distinct. I don't know if it's possible, but more as a general Ultima VII note, I do wish there was an option to change fonts just to make it easier to read. Hello Chuckles! Let's explore, take some potions. I think I definitely prefer the Ultima VII style inventory over the Ultima VI one, as it makes inventory management much easier. One lesson I learned from Ultima VII is to only pick up things I absolutely need, as there's just so much junk lying around. It feels like Ultima VI tries to recreate Ultima IV's quest again and its game loop. Learn the mantras, get the runes, and place them on the shrines. But circumstances have changed a whole lot. This is the first time you get to see the actual impact of your actions on the Britannians without Blackthorn to corrupt them. How did the Avatar do? Let's visit the cities and find out. And the first NPC I meet outside the castle is a con artist claiming to be Lord British, a false king to accompany a false prophet. What's surprising is this grifter is just outside the castle walls, and he asks for money in an obvious swindle without fear of consequences. Since Britannia is a city that is dedicated to the virtue of compassion, should we, as the Avatar, show compassion and give him money despite knowing he's lying? One of Ultima VI's more interesting dichotomies is that the opening prologue with its really grim and ominous tone contrasts completely with the first main quest to liberate the shrines. I'll highlight what I like about each quest and how the game often takes an unexpected approach to the virtues in their respective towns. In Jellum, which represents valor, the mayor tells you that the rune is given to the winner of a tournament to prove who is most valorous. I expected some kind of trial or combat so that Avatar could prove to be the most valorous. But no, the winner, Noman, reveals that he dropped the rune and a rat stole it. A rat. Putting aside the obvious implications of the name No Man, the Rune of Valor is in the possession of a rat. And this isn't some super monster rat that you have to fight either. A waitress tells you it's hidden inside a hole in their pub. The way you obtain the rune is to recruit Sherry the Mouse from Lord British's castle by offering her cheese, take Sherry back to the city and have her steal the rune back. Talk about valor. Sherry also gets you cheese and a ring of invisibility. I actually wonder if there's anyone who's beaten the game using only Sherry. Actually, I just googled it and it looks like she can get very powerful if you take the time to level her up, so have at it, mouse avatars. In the case of you, the execution of justice seems overly zealous. The mayor, Lenora, has some guy locked up in a stockade. The prison where the thief, Boskin, is imprisoned has a bunch of kids in a cell. What'd they do? Boskin reveals he dug up the Rune of Justice from the Lord Mayor's grave. When you ask him about it, he lies about having robbed the grave to feed his family. I thought maybe it was a miscarriage of justice. But the mayor tells you Boskin is a con artist too, and when you confront him with the truth, he reveals the location of the rune is under a potted plant at the local pub. Oddly, this is the second rune you find in a pub. U is also where I get my first new party member. Welcome Jana, it's been a long time. In Ultima VII she'd relocated to Cove, but it's nice to see her back in U again where I first met her when she was a druidess for Ultima IV. Wait, so I'm here in Trinsic, the city dedicated to honor, and the rune is just out here with no guards? Is this the real one? Or is the town really making the rune part of an honor system? Found the mayor, and apparently he's so trusting of people, he doesn't care who takes it since he sincerely believes whoever took it would have enough honor to return it. I mean, can I even return it? After I free the shrine, I can't find the rune in my bag anymore. Sorry about that. I actually felt bad, so I tried going back to the mayor of Trinsic, but the dialogue doesn't reflect the fact that you've taken the rune, so I don't think I can do anything for now. I did find a guy who sells armor, though he isn't as trusting with the honor system. He's selling magic armor, so I gotta stock up. It's weird coming to Skara Brae after Ultima VII, where it was completely destroyed. Here it's a normal city, except it's not. The mayor is a pompous fool who thinks he's spiritual. He insists you call him Your Honor? What is it with Skara Brae and their mayors? There's a murder afoot. Someone murdered Quentin. The spirituality in Skara Brae is due to murder, not because of some holy blessing. It seems like the people are blaming gargoyles, except it doesn't follow the usual pattern of gargoyle killings. I've asked around a bit, but I'm not sure if there's a way to solve the mystery. I do recall that you meet Quentin in Ultima VII, and it's sad talking to these people knowing what fate awaits them. Surreal seeing Horans as a normal mage instead of as a lich like in Ultima VII. He does sell some good attack spells. I guess the rune is with Quentin's daughter, and it's a touching scene when you realize his spirit left the rune for her. I think the Compassion rune has more meaning just because I played 7 first. This young girl Ariana has the rune and can give it to you if you get permission from her mom. I visit her mom at the pub and she gives her okay. The thing that's touching is you learn in 7 from her great-great-granddaughter that this brief, almost forgettable encounter had a huge impact on Ariana to the point where she pledged her life and her descendants to hold the shrine dear. Unfortunately, their family will suffer great tragedies because of this pledge. This random NPC nearby Ariana starts talking about dreams and suddenly falls asleep. I have no idea what's going on or if she's part of a greater mission, but I've never had an NPC fall asleep on me in the middle of a conversation. I'm heading to New Magencia now to pick up another rune. New Magencia is dedicated to the virtue of humility. The mayor challenges the avatar to take part in a competition to get the rune. Who's the most humble person in the city? This is another case of the virtue being twisted, even if it's in a funny way. Charlotte tells me, honesty is a virtue too, and honesty forces me to admit that I am the humblest person in New Magencia. Serving others, the humblest occupation I could imagine. The answer is Connor, who's the only person to say they're not humble at all. Humble envy is a weird thing to witness. Honestly, of all the runes, the Rune of Honesty was my least favorite to get. In Moonglow, the witch Penumbra knows where it's at, but to find out that information, you need to get a Dispel Field spell from the Mage Xiao. Dispel the room full of harmful magic, which honestly seems like an odd thing for a fortune teller to place in their welcoming foyer. She tells you to go down to the catacombs for the grave of her ex, search through some tombs only to realize some other guy is dropping daffodils there. Climb back up, get the key, promise to leave a flower, then go back down and break in to grab the rune. Of course, now I gotta find the key in my bag. Jeez. I gotta move everything. This is why inventory management is so important in Ultima games. Finally found the key. I don't know how to feel about taking the rune from the catacomb. Oh, and on the way out, you have to fight a bunch of grave robbers. Minok feels totally different from the other cities. The mayor has heard about the gargoyles but hasn't seen any of them nearby. Despite the gravity of the situation, when the avatar asks about the Rune of Sacrifice, the avatar is referred to the Artisans Guild, which you then have to join. But there's 2 conditions. You have to make a panpipe and then play the song Stones on it. To get the panpipe, you need wood from you. In you meet Big Ben. Big Ben is pretty hostile to you, and the reason why is because he thinks you're from Lord British. Not so long ago, he won a wood chopping competition, and ever since then, Lord British wants to recruit him for the war effort against the gargoyles. He refused to sacrifice himself for the greater good, but strangely, I actually respected him more for that. It actually made me wonder if I should start refusing some of Lord British's requests myself. I liberated the final shrine, but there's no moment of acknowledgement from the game. Even Lord British's dialogue doesn't update for the achievement. An anticlimactic moment that had more meaning when I accomplished the same thing in Ultima IV. Does anyone even care anymore? I became curious about the war effort against the gargoyles as I had seen so little trace of them within the cities themselves. In the Compassion Shrine, I saw a heap of human corpses. One soldier even looked like he'd been vaporized. I went over to Cove to meet the survivors and was horrified by what I saw. Soldiers were in tremendous pain, screaming in agony. Had I caused this suffering? This is me just conjecturing, but it seems like the designers wanted to question the virtues and their meaning to the people. It's done in a playful way that I think is both thoughtful and really clever, but after the events of Ultima IV, I'd hoped the Avatar could be a shining beacon. But if 5 represented a corruption of those ideals, I'd say 6 represents a trivialization of the virtues in light of the contrasting ones of other societies. Did your actions actually make Britannia a better place? It's hard to say it has based on what I've seen so far, knowing also that the Avatar's actions had a disastrous effect on the gargoyles and is triggering this war. It also makes me question if Quests of the Avatar had as virtuous an impact as I thought when I first played it. Would it have been better if I hadn't gone on that quest? Just like in 7, Ultima VI has me thinking about religion. Most religions have a figure like the Avatar who started it all, but many religions also have had terrible things done in their name. It's a terribly sad commentary on human nature that something so good can become so twisted. I'm looking forward to the next part of the game, and I'm really loving this remaster. Even for this video, when I began, I was only going to play about an hour or so, but I couldn't stop playing and now I'm done with the ruins. So a big thank you to the Exult team for this wonderful remaster. On a quick comparison, it's pretty faithful to the original, just with a lot of modernizations that make it more accessible. I think I'm finally going to finish Ultima VI, and I'm seeing why people love it so much. If you've sat through this whole thing, thanks so much. See you next time, Avatar.